But nevertheless, Hamas remains. And what is likely to happen? Are they going to give up their weapons? Are they going to give up political control of Gaza? And are they going to stay there? Because if they're going to stay there, it's like roaches in the cabinet.
Yeah, I mean, they're a terrorist organization. It says in their charter that they seek to annihilate the state of Israel.
That's the goal.
Right. So we should not assume for 1 second that they're an honest broker here in any negotiation. Even if they go into a period of quiet, they will hide their weapons, and the whole purpose will be to rebuild at some point in the future. So they're not going to just give up their weapons and concede defeat. These are suicide bombers, essentially. They will go to the last man. But what I think the deal does, number one, is, as I mentioned previously, Israel is controlling now more than half of the Gaza Strip. So in that half, Hamas doesn't exist. And what Israel is also trying to do is to empower some of the clans that exist in the Gaza Strip, and what this essentially is going to do is isolate Hamas into specific areas. So you might have a situation in which Hamas controls, let's say, 25% of the Gaza Strip. And once you have them isolated, and then they also don't have hostages anymore, right? Which was their number one ace card. So you've taken away their ace card and you've isolated them geographically. And if they continue to behave like the bad actors that they are, you can go back in with force into a limited area. And now, because you have the deal, you have the backing of the Trump administration to do that. And in addition to the Trump administration, you also have the backing of countries like Qatar and Turkey and Egypt and Jordan, countries that were putting the pressure on Israel in the beginning. They've now given up on Hamas. So Hamas is completely isolated now, even from the Arab world. They're isolated geographically. And so we just have to wait and watch right now what's going to develop over the next several weeks. But I do think that you might see limited operations. And I think Israel can actually be much more pinpointed in their operations as they try to eliminate little terror cells in certain parts of the Gaza Strip. And you see them doing that, by the way, in Lebanon. I mean, there was a ceasefire agreement in Lebanon. I know that I was personally very upset when Israel signed the ceasefire, because we had pushed Hezbollah back something like 70% of what the goal was, and then all of a sudden we stopped. I said, how can we have a ceasefire? Because they'll never let us go back in and attack. But actually, Israel's changed their military doctrine. And you see that even though that there's a ceasefire agreement, Israel continues to strike at every terror movement that's taking place in southern Lebanon. And from what I understand, speaking with Israeli officials, they're viewing this ceasefire deal in Gaza the same as they view it in Lebanon.